Maine isn't just about picturesque lighthouses and buttery lobster rolls. This rugged northeastern state hides secrets that sound too strange to be true. From massive whirlpools capable of swallowing boats whole to abandoned locomotives rusting in remote forests, Maine defies expectations at every turn. Its dramatic coastline conceals mysteries beneath frigid waters, while its vast wilderness harbors natural phenomena that baffle scientists. Get ready to discover a side of the pine tree state that guidebooks rarely mention. These 50 facts will change everything you thought you knew about Maine. Number 50. A park built by a philanthropist on a bicycle. John D. Rockefeller Jr. imagined Acadia without engines or exhaust. He designed over 50 miles of carriage roads meant only for horses and bicycles, personally riding them to perfect every curve. Granite bridges were built to match the landscape, turning infrastructure into art. Cars were banned so visitors could move slowly through wilderness. Today, these roads still offer a peaceful way to experience Acadia exactly as Rockefeller intended. And coming up, we have Number 49, the town that smells like the ocean, literally. Rockland and Prospect Harbor once reeked of fish oil from massive menhaden processing plants. The smell was so powerful it traveled for miles. Locals joked you could smell the payroll because the odor meant steady jobs and income. Visitors hated it, but residents associated it with survival. Though the industry is gone, older Mainers still remember when the air itself smelled like a working waterfront. Next on our list is Number 48, a city that glitters at low tide. Bar Harbor hides a temporary secret. During extreme low tides, a sandbar emerges connecting the mainland to Bar Island. For a few hours, people can walk across the ocean floor, exploring tide pools and stranded sea life. But when the tide returns, it rushes back quickly, erasing the path. Anyone who waits too long risks being trapped or forced to swim back through freezing water. The next surprising fact is Number 47, the Coldwater Coral Frontier. Deep beneath Maine's offshore waters lie coldwater coral reefs growing in freezing, pitch-black canyons. These corals don't rely on sunlight but feed on drifting nutrients. They grow slowly over centuries, forming habitats for rare fish and crustaceans. Bottom trawling can destroy them in minutes. These hidden ecosystems are just as important as tropical reefs, yet most people don't even know they exist. Let's dive into Number 46, a town split by a line. Estcourt Station sits directly on the US-Canada border, which cuts through yards and even homes. One room can be American, while the next is Canadian. Some residents must drive through Canada just to reach other parts of Maine. Mail, police, and emergencies all require cross-border coordination. Here, the concept of national borders isn't abstract. It runs right through daily life. Moving forward, we explore Number 45, the oldest wooden fort on the US-Canada border. Fort Kent was built during the Aroostook War, when the US and Britain nearly fought over valuable Maine timber. Troops mobilized, but diplomacy won. The Webster-Ashburton Treaty settled the dispute peacefully. The fort never fired a shot, making it a symbol of avoided war rather than conquest. Today, it stands as a reminder that negotiation can prevent bloodshed. Up next, we uncover Number 44, a city built on oysters. Along the Damariscotta River, massive shell middens tower like ancient monuments. Indigenous people piled oyster shells for thousands of years, creating mounds several stories tall. These weren't random trash heaps. They marked territory, elevated living areas, and preserved history. Archaeologists study them to understand climate, diets, and ecosystems from millennia ago. These shells are a written record made of stone. You won't believe what comes next. Number 43. A lighthouse older than the US Constitution. Portland Head Light was commissioned by George Washington in 1791, just after the Constitution was ratified. Built from rubble stone, it has survived over 2 centuries of storms while guiding ships into Portland Harbor. It's now one of America's most photographed lighthouses and still operates today. Standing before it means touching living history that predates most US institutions. Following that, we discover Number 42, the day the sea smoked. When frigid air moves over warmer ocean water, Maine's coast produces sea smoke. Moisture evaporates, instantly condensing into thick, rolling fog that looks like the ocean is boiling. Visibility drops to almost nothing, creating dangerous conditions for boats. From shore, the effect looks supernatural, white steam rising from dark waves like a massive haunted cauldron. In our next revelation, number 41, the coast that rings. Thunderhole in Acadia roars when waves slam into a narrow rock cavern at high tide. Trapped air explodes outward with a booming thunderclap that shakes the ground. Water sprays into the air like a geyser. At low tide, it's quiet, but when storms hit, it becomes one of Maine's loudest natural spectacles. Powerful, dangerous, and unforgettable. Moving forward, we have number 40, the island of granite and lobsters. Vinalhaven once thrived on granite quarries that built America's cities. When the stone industry faded, lobstering took over. Old quarries now sit flooded like eerie swimming holes, reminders of dangerous labor. Today, the island mixes artists, fishermen, seals, and tourists into one rugged community. Its economy changed, but the island's hard-edged character remains carved in stone. Next, we take a closer look at number 39, the first ship of the English New World. In 1608, colonists at Popham built the Virginia, the first ocean-going ship made in the New World. They cut trees, forged metal, and assembled the vessel in the wilderness. Though the colony failed, the ship sailed across the Atlantic successfully. It proved settlers could build and maintain fleets in America, laying the foundation for New England's future maritime power. As we move forward, we reveal number 38, Shipwreck Alley. Maine's fog, storms, and hidden rocks destroyed hundreds of ships. Some sank in minutes, others broke apart slowly as crews clung to rigging. Coastal residents became expert rescuers. Even today, storms uncover anchors, timbers, and personal items on beaches. Beneath peaceful shores lie the remains of countless tragedies, a submerged museum of maritime disaster. Hold on for this next interesting fact. Number 37, the only national park in New England. Acadia is New England's only national park, where mountains rise directly from the Atlantic. Glaciers carved its granite peaks, creating cliffs, lakes, and forests in close proximity. It protects rare ecosystems and offers trails from gentle walks to dangerous scrambles. Donated by wealthy landowners, Acadia is a rare mix of wild beauty and human generosity. Turning the page, we find number 36, the Bold Coast. Maine's Bold Coast features sheer cliffs, crashing waves, and relentless wind. Fog blurs the line between sea and sky. It's more like Scotland than New England. There are no beaches here, only rock, spray, and seabirds. Hiking the cliffs feels thrilling and dangerous, reminding visitors that this coast wasn't designed for comfort, but for raw, untamed power. Next on our list is number 35, a coastline that cheats the map. Maine's coastline measures only about 230 miles straight, but when every island, cove, and inlet is counted, it stretches thousands. This fractal complexity creates endless harbors and hiding places. It made navigation difficult, but fueled Maine's maritime economy. No matter how much you explore, there always seems to be another hidden bay waiting around the next bend. Coming up, we have number 34, Katahdin, the Great Mountain. Mount Katahdin rises 5,269 feet, but feels far larger. Its knife-edge ridges, brutal winds, and sudden storms make it one of the East's most dangerous climbs. For Appalachian trail hikers, it marks the emotional finish after 2,200 miles. For the Penobscot people, Katahdin means the greatest mountain. From the summit, endless forest stretches in every direction, creating one of America's most powerful wilderness views. The next surprising fact is number 33, a wilderness waterway with a ferry. The Allagash Wilderness Waterway offers 92 miles of remote lakes and rivers through untouched forest. Nearby Appalachian trail hikers must cross the powerful Kennebec River, which is too dangerous to ford, so a canoe ferry rows hikers across instead. It's a strange but essential service, a reminder that even in true wilderness, cooperation can mean the difference between adventure and disaster. Next is Number 32, the abandoned ghost trains. Two massive steam locomotives sit rusting deep in Maine's forests. When a logging railroad shut down in the 1930s, the engines were too heavy and expensive to remove, so they were left behind. Nature slowly reclaimed them. Now moss covers steel, trees grow through metal, and wildlife nests inside. They stand like haunted relics of Maine's industrial past. Moving forward, we explore. Number 31, granite that built America. Maine's granite built some of America's greatest structures, including the Brooklyn Bridge and Boston's Custom House. Quarrymen risked their lives drilling, blasting, and hauling stone from islands like Vanalhaven and Deer Isle. That rock now supports cities hundreds of miles away. When you walk through major American cities, you are literally standing on Maine. It's stone holding everything up. Up next, we uncover Number 30, the globe you can walk inside. Eartha in Yarmouth is the world's largest rotating globe. At 41 feet in diameter, it shows Earth at a scale of 1 to 1 million. Visitors can look down on continents, trace rivers, and see mountains in perfect proportion. The globe slowly turns, offering a stunning astronaut-like view of the planet that makes flat maps feel suddenly small. You won't believe what comes next. Number 29, Whoopie the State Treat. Maine's official state treat is the whoopie pie, 2 chocolate cakes filled with sweet cream. Pennsylvania claims to have invented it, but Maine claims to have perfected it. In Maine, the debate ends once you take a bite. Bakeries across the state guard their recipes fiercely. Whether invented here or not, the whoopie pie has become pure Maine tradition. Following that, we discover Number 28, the state drink with a cult. Moxie is Maine's official soda, and people either love it or hate it. Its bitter, herbal flavor shocks first-time drinkers. Originally sold as medicine, it became a cultural icon. Festivals celebrate it, and locals claim you aren't truly a Mainer until you try it. Whether refreshing or revolting, Moxie perfectly captures Maine's stubborn, unconventional spirit. In our next revelation, Number 27, Lobster Legends and Blues. Blue lobsters appear only about once in 2 million, caused by rare genetic mutations. Maine fishermen also find yellow, albino, and multicolored lobsters. When discovered, these rare creatures are usually donated to aquariums instead of eaten. Their bright colors look unreal against the gray Atlantic, proving that even in familiar waters, nature still produces astonishing surprises. Next is Number 26, a disputed island with 2 flags. Machias Seal Island is claimed by both the US and Canada. A Canadian lighthouse stands there, but America disputes ownership. The only true residents are puffins and seabirds, who ignore the politics. Despite the disagreement, the island remains peaceful. It's one of the world's calmest territorial disputes, a place where birds rule and borders mean nothing. Next, we take a closer look at dessert. Number 25, Eastern Egg Rock's Puffin Comeback. Puffins disappeared from Maine after being hunted to extinction. Conservationists reintroduced them by raising chicks on Eastern Egg Rock. Years later, the birds returned on their own. Today, puffins nest there again, bobbing on the waves with their colorful beaks. It's one of the greatest seabird recovery stories in the world, a true conservation miracle. As we move forward, we reveal Number 24, a lighthouse superpower. Maine has about 65 historic lighthouses guarding its dangerous coast. From Portland Head Light to remote Matanicus Rock, each beacon warned sailors away from deadly reefs and fog. Keepers lived isolated lives, maintaining the lights in brutal conditions. Though many are now automated, these lighthouses still define Maine's rugged maritime identity. Hold on for this next interesting fact. Number 23, the LL Bean that never sleeps. The LL Bean store in Freeport never closes. It has no locks. You can shop for boots or kayaks at 3 a.m. on Christmas or New Year's Day. What started as a service for hunters became a symbol of Maine's non-stop outdoor culture. It's part store, part tourist attraction, and part legend. Turning the page, we find Number 22, the desert that isn't. The desert of Maine looks like the Sahara, but was created by farming mistakes. Farmers stripped away fertile soil, exposing glacial sand underneath. Wind took over, burying buildings and turning farmland into dunes. Now it's a tourist attraction. It's a strange reminder that even in a green state like Maine, humans can accidentally create a desert. Next on our list is number 21, some of the world's biggest tides. Maine feels the power of the Bay of Fundy, where tides can rise over 20 feet. Entire harbors empty and refill twice a day. Boats sit on mud, then float again hours later. The rushing water is so powerful that engineers have considered harvesting it for electricity. Watching it surge in feels like witnessing the ocean breathe. Coming up, we have number 20, Old Sow, the giant whirlpool. Old Sow is the largest tidal whirlpool in the Western Hemisphere. Formed by massive Fundy tides squeezing through narrow channels, it creates swirling currents, standing waves, and dangerous eddies. Small boats can be pulled off course or overwhelmed. Local mariners carefully time their routes to avoid it. From shore, the spinning water looks like the ocean is alive. Coming up, we have number 19, where America wakes up. At West Quoddy Head in Lubeck, you can stand where the continental United States first meets the sun. Depending on the season, this honor shifts between West Quoddy, Cadillac Mountain, and Mars Hill, each taking turns greeting the earliest sunrise. Winter favors higher ground, summer favors farther east. But the truth never changes. If you want to watch America begin its day, you must come to Maine, where lighthouse beams fade as the Atlantic catches fire. Fishermen, hikers, and early risers gather in silence as the sky slowly ignites, watching the nation's first light spill across the waves. In that moment, geography feels poetic. Not just a map, but a beginning. Next is number 18, the state that borders one state. Maine is the only US state that shares a land border with just one other state, New Hampshire. Every other boundary touches Canada or the Atlantic Ocean. That isolation shaped everything. Trade routes, culture, attitude. Communities near the Canadian line often felt closer to New Brunswick than Boston. With fewer neighbors came stronger independence. Maine learned to rely on itself. Geography didn't just draw lines on the map. It built a fiercely self-contained identity that still defines the state today. This separation created tight-knit towns, stubborn pride, and a deep sense of place that resists outside influence, even in a connected modern world. Moving forward, we have number 17, a county bigger than two states. Aroostook County is so large it defies New England logic. Covering over 6,800 square miles, it's bigger than Connecticut and Rhode Island combined. Locals simply call it the county, as if nothing else compares. You can drive for hours without leaving it, passing forests, farms, and tiny towns scattered across vast distances. With low population and extreme remoteness, it feels less like a county and more like its own frontier, quietly existing beyond the rest of Maine. Here, distance is measured in forests and snowstorms, not minutes, shaping a lifestyle built on patience and resilience. Hold on for the next interesting fact. Number 16, the most forested state. Nearly 90% of Maine is covered in forest, more than any other state in America. That means endless stretches of spruce, fir, maple, and pine swallowing roads, towns, and hills. Step outside a city and you're instantly inside the woods. These forests support wildlife, protect watersheds, and once fueled massive timber empires. Today they remain Maine's backbone, shaping its economy, recreation, and identity. In Maine, civilization feels like an interruption. The trees are the true owners of the land, quietly dictating where people can live, travel, and even dream. Next on our list is number 15, potato capital of the East. Aroostook County doesn't just grow potatoes, it lives them. For generations, its soil and climate produced millions of pounds of the crop, feeding America and defining the region. Harvest season fills the air with starch and diesel as truckloads roll out. The Potato Blossom Festival, complete with a crowned queen, still celebrates that legacy. Though the industry has shrunk, potatoes remain part of the county's soul, connecting families, land, and history in rows that stretch to the horizon. Even today, many locals measure the year not by months, but by planting and harvest. Coming up, we have number 14, blueberries by the Barrens. Maine produces most of America's wild blueberries, grown not on farms but across ancient glacial barrens. These low bushes produce small berries with flavor so intense it embarrasses store-bought fruit. Each August, fields turn purple as harvest begins using handheld rakes. The land itself is rare, too acidic for forests, perfect for berries. Native peoples managed these fields long before Europeans arrived. Today, those same windswept barrens still define Maine's most famous fruit and its deep connection to the land, proving that wildness can be both beautiful and profitable. Let's move to the next. Number 13, a river that once reeked. The Androscoggin River was once so polluted it had no life, only stench and foam. Paper mills dumped waste until the water became a toxic sewer. People could smell it miles away. Then something rare happened. Laws were enforced, treatment plants built, the river healed, fish returned, the odor vanished. Today, kayaks glide where nothing once lived. The Androscoggin is proof that even the worst damage can be undone. If society decides the environment is worth saving, and if patience is allowed to do its slow work. Next is number 12, Ice Disk of Westbrook. In 2019, a perfect spinning circle of ice formed in the Presumpscot River, 300 feet wide, slowly rotating like something from space. The ice disk drew scientists, tourists, and cameras from around the world. Created by swirling currents, it smoothed itself into near perfection while turning endlessly for weeks. Then, as quietly as it appeared, it melted away. For a brief moment, a small Maine town hosted one of nature's strangest and most mesmerizing performances, reminding everyone that wonder still exists in unexpected places. Moving forward, we have number 11, When the Ocean Glows. On certain summer nights, Maine's coastal waters come alive with blue fire. Microscopic organisms light up when disturbed, turning every paddle stroke and splash into glowing trails. Kayaks leave constellations behind them. Swimmers ignite bursts of neon in the dark. It feels unreal, like touching the stars. These rare blooms depend on temperature and nutrients, making each sighting unpredictable. Those who see it never forget it. The ocean reveals that even in darkness, life can still shine, waiting patiently to be awakened by a single movement. Here we have your number 10, the 100-mile wilderness. Before hikers reach Mount Katahdin, they must survive Maine's 100-mile wilderness, a roadless, supply-free stretch of forest and bog. For over a week, there's nothing but trees, water crossings, and silence. No towns, no stores, no help. You carry everything. The isolation strips people down to their essentials. By the time Katahdin rises in the distance, hikers aren't just finishing a trail, they're emerging from one of the wildest places left in the eastern United States, changed by quiet, effort, and solitude. Moving forward, we have number 9, the reversing falls that aren't falls. In parts of Maine, rivers don't always flow toward the sea. The Bay of Fundy's massive tides push so hard they force water to reverse direction. Rapids run one way, then stop, then surge upstream. Stand there long enough and you'll watch gravity lose. These reversing falls aren't waterfalls, but tidal battles between ocean and river. It's a reminder that along Maine's coast, the sea isn't just nearby, it's in control. The shoreline becomes a stage where physics performs in real time, showing just how powerful the Atlantic truly is. Next is number 8, the Great Ice Harvest. Before refrigeration, Maine exported winter itself. Workers cut massive blocks of ice from frozen lakes, stored them in sawdust-insulated warehouses, and shipped them around the world. Caribbean islands paid fortunes for Maine ice, and it literally became a form of currency in distant ports. The work was brutal, requiring hours in freezing water, but it fueled a global industry that connected rural Maine to far-off markets. Children helped with hauling and stacking ice. Then technology made it obsolete almost overnight, replacing human labor with machines. Today, rusting ice tongs and empty ice houses remain as ghosts of a time when frozen water made Maine rich, and winter paid the bills, turning cold into commerce. You won't believe what comes next. Number 7, the Gulf that's warming too fast. The Gulf of Maine is warming faster than nearly any other ocean on Earth, a front-row view of climate change in real time. As waters rise, lobsters migrate north, fish adjust their seasonal patterns, and entire ecosystems shift. What once defined Maine's fishing economy now teeters on uncertainty, leaving communities watching their heritage drift away with the currents. Species new and old appear or vanish unpredictably, disrupting centuries-old traditions. Scientists study the Gulf as a warning sign for the planet, measuring the subtle shifts that ripple through both wildlife and human livelihoods. In Maine, climate change isn't abstract, it's immediate, tangible, and forcing adaptation on a daily basis. Next is fact number 6, a city that burned twice. Portland was destroyed by fire not once, but twice, and each time its residents refused to give in. First, British forces burned the city in 1775, punishing revolutionary defiance. Then the Great Fire of 1866 obliterated over 1,500 buildings, leaving 10,000 people homeless. Both times, the community rebuilt, learning from disaster and crafting a city stronger and more resilient than before. The phoenix on Portland's seal commemorates this history. Not a metaphor, but literal truth. Walking its streets today, you witness buildings, streets, and neighborhoods designed with fire-resistant materials and careful planning. Portland rose from its ashes, defined by survival, endurance, and a city spirit that refuses to stay down. Coming up, we have number 5, the road that vanishes. Near Bailey Island, engineers created a bridge unlike any other. Stacked granite slabs with open gaps let tidal water flow beneath freely, preventing catastrophic storm damage that destroyed previous attempts. Driving across feels almost surreal. Waves crash beneath your tires, spray drifts onto the roadway, and the bridge seems alive, bending to the ocean's will. It's both engineering marvel and natural choreography, a design that surrenders to tides rather than fighting them. Locals know it as much by sound and motion as by sight. The Cribstone Bridge proves that Maine's roads are more than infrastructure. They are intimate, living responses to nature's power and unpredictability. Next is number 4, the island you can only reach by mailboat. Some Maine islands have no roads, no bridges, only mailboats. These vessels carry groceries, fuel, medicine, letters, and even vehicles, making life possible in isolation. During storms, runs are canceled, and the islands wait, dependent entirely on a single schedule. Captains become lifelines, trusted with delivering everything from prescriptions to birthday cakes. Residents plan months in advance, stockpiling supplies, knowing the ocean's mood dictates their lives. This is not tourism, it's survival. Life here fosters self-sufficiency, resilience, and tight-knit communities shaped by dependence on a vessel that is more than transportation. It is the heartbeat of these islands. Next on our list is number 3, the only one-syllable state, Maine. One word, one beat. It's the only US state with a single syllable name, perfectly reflecting a place that values simplicity and understatement. But don't be fooled, the name is short, while the state is vast and complex. Rugged coastlines, expansive forests, and intricate history fill every mile. Surrounded by polysyllabic neighbors like Massachusetts and Connecticut, Maine stands apart, direct, unadorned, and immediately recognizable. Its brevity mirrors the people, pragmatic, resilient, no nonsense. Yet beneath that simple name lies profound depth, mystery, and enduring character. Maine is a study in contrasts, one-syllable clarity overlaid on centuries of rugged complexity. Moving forward, we have number 2, the coast that's still being discovered. Maine's coastline refuses to be fully mapped or known. Storms reshape beaches, shifting sand and revealing or burying hidden features. Fog hides entire seal rookeries and secret coves. Low tides expose tide pools brimming with life one week, gone the next. Shipwrecks emerge from shifting sands like forgotten artifacts. Every visit uncovers something new, a hidden beach, a newly exposed rock formation, or a tidal pool teeming with creatures unseen before. Maps can never fully capture the constant change. Maine's coast is alive, breathing with the rhythm of waves, wind, and tides. Discovery here isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing adventure that resets with each storm, each tide, each visit. Last but not the least, we have number 1, Portland Head Light's enduring legacy. Portland Head Light has watched America evolve since 1791. Commissioned by George Washington, its white tower still shines from its rocky cliff, guiding ships as faithfully as it did in the 18th century. More than the most photographed lighthouse in the nation, it's a living witness. Sailboats, steamers, and modern vessels all passed beneath its beam. It endured storms, wars, and generations of change, yet the light remains constant. Artists and photographers continue to capture its image, but standing before it, you experience history alive, maritime heritage, architectural resilience, and national identity all in one glance. The lighthouse isn't just a static monument, it tells countless stories. Generations of lighthouse keepers lived and worked here, maintaining the lamp through bitter winters and fierce Atlantic storms. They became part of the landscape, their labor unnoticed but essential for safe navigation. Beyond guiding ships, the tower witnessed nearby communities grow, trade flourish, and naval history unfold. Its walls have stood against the erosion of time, while the waves below never cease their ceaseless pounding. Portland Head Light embodies endurance, vigilance, and quiet strength, a steadfast symbol that reminds all who visit that some things like hope and guidance are meant to last. It's a symbol of continuity in a world of change, still fulfilling its original mission. Which of these surprising Maine facts amazed you the most? From twisting whirlpools to ghostly forests, the Pine Tree State is full of secrets waiting to be discovered. Share your favorite revelation or the one that left you stunned in the comments below.